Hey everybody, welcome to another review by CigarFellas.com. My name is Moose. I'm joined today by Hard CZ, Dan, and today we actually cracked open the Tat Black Tubos. These are from 2009. These are a tremendously, incredibly good cigar. We actually started to smoke this, we started the review, but I decided that I wanted to handle this a little bit differently. Obviously this is one that isn't smoked. Closed foot construction on this. Construction is typical Tat, very well constructed. You know, the caps on these, I've always liked them because they're a little more rustic. You know, I don't know how else to say it. It's not real super smooth. It's, you know, you can just tell that they put enough care into it that it's a great stick. But all in all, you know, it's still got, you know, those lumps in it, which I can appreciate. I think it adds to the character of the cigar. Pre-smoke on these, the draw after we cut it, even with the closed foot, I thought was quite nice. The smell of this, very cedary. They've been in the cedar tubes since their construction in 2009. So what are we talking, a 4-year-old cigar? Basically a 4-year-old cigar. My buddy Short Fuse, Tom Henning, actually sent me this box of these Tat Black Tubos. Tom, thank you very much for all that you do for us, you know, with the military and things like that. For those of you that don't know him, try to get to know him. He's a great brother for sure. But we've actually already, like I said, started smoking these, and I'm just about the first third through my Tat Black Tubo. I don't know where you're sitting, probably a little bit. You got a little bit more than I do, but definitely peppery, but peppery in a good way. I think we were having this conversation.
Just mild black pepper.
Right, and I think that's definitely due to the age. I mean, you know, it's one thing about Tats that are rot, at least for me. For those of you that don't know what rot means, right off the truck. You know, brand new, basically just rolled, boxed, sent up to the United States. We buy them off the brick and mortar shelf. Not that typical strong flavor of pepper like these would have had from the beginning. Definitely great smoke, I mean, so far, in my opinion. What do you think, Dan?
On the retrohale, it's been extremely smooth. I'm getting a little bit of a sweetness, just barely there, and it's great because I don't get that sense that, you know, when you snort water up your nose, it makes you cry. I don't get any of that, and that's something I really appreciate in usually aged cigars and just mild cigars, and you know, these have been coming along really great.
Absolutely. I mean, this is definitely, I mean, not only am I already a Pete Johnson fan, not only do I enjoy all the Tatuaje cigars I've ever had, never had a bad one, honestly, that's the truth. Never even had one that really wasn't right up my alley. I mean, I've always enjoyed every Tat that I've ever had. And this is no exception. You know, I'm getting slight cedary notes, and I mean, obviously that's mostly because of the tubos that they come in with the cedar liners. Definitely very smooth, you're right. I mean, for a Tat on the retrohale on this, you're absolutely right. It's not like snorting water. It is spot on, very smooth, easy on the sinuses. Just all in all, man, wonderful, wonderful cigar so far.
Yeah, and that cedar flavor, it's basically like if you take a cedar sheet and you take a smell of it, you get that little bit of woodsy, little bit of a sweet smell to it, and that's exactly what I'm getting on this.
Exactly, absolutely. And I agree, the sweetness is definitely there. You know, maybe a little bit of grassy notes in there. I can almost just taste a little bit of grassy note. Not overpowering. You know, one thing about us tonight is we're actually drinking Founder's Breakfast Stout, and it definitely adds to the flavor profile of the cigar, having that breakfast stout. As y'all can hear, my dog's probably barking at my cats, but he's a pug and thinks he runs the joint. He does.
And, you know, something about this on the retrohale, you'll notice to me, it's not what you would call a creamy cigar where it's not, it's just almost at that point where it's kind of thick. You can really taste it. It's kind of smooth. I think creamy is something like, you know, literally cream. Like if you're gonna put it in your coffee, it's just got that overpowering. It just covers everything.
Oh yeah.
And I get almost at that level, but just like a step down.
Yep. No, I definitely I could pick that up for sure. I mean, it is definitely so smooth that it almost becomes creamy, even though it's not creamy. You know, and you know, I don't want to confuse a bunch of people, but you know, I mean, most Davidoffs are very creamy. The L40 that we smoked the other day was extremely creamy. You know, that is definitely that creamy style. This is definitely not any of those. But let us go ahead and smoke down to about an inch below this band, or above this band, I guess. It depends on which way you're holding it. And we'll be back with some more of this Tab Black Tubo. So here we are. I'm about an inch away from my band. Dan's a little bit, well, he's got some issues with his burn. But I think it's the way he's smoking. But, whatever. So what do you think?
It's great. You know, when we first lit it up, the black pepper flavor was just barely in your mouth, a little bit on the front part of my tongue. You know, as I get towards the end, now it stays. It's got a little bit of tingling, and actually moved back to the middle. It's not bad.
No, not at all. You know, one thing about this cigar is it's definitely got a long-lasting, you know, after effect in your mouth. I mean, this tobacco definitely sits around. You know, I was having some problems with what exactly I was tasting and kind of how to explain it. I mean, I knew that I was getting the, you know, the woodsy notes with the cedar. I knew that I was getting that sweet finish. I knew that it was kind of sticking around in my mouth. And I just went out to see what other people had experienced. And one thing that was consistent was the actual flavor of tobacco. Just, you know, more of a tobacco. And that's why I was talking about kind of that grassy, you know, little bit of, you know, I guess I just kind of pinpointed it wrong, but it's definitely got a lot of tobacco flavor in it. You know, with those sweet notes on the end, which is really exciting for me, just because I definitely like the full bodiness of this. It's definitely a full-bodied cigar. But I like that sweetness at the end. I definitely like the way that it sits on my palate. It's not easily washed off. You know, as I was talking earlier, you know, we are drinking this with a double chocolate coffee oatmeal stout. And, you know, the flavor of the Founder's beer is not actually washing it away, which is really kind of nice. And you know, I know it does have an impact on the flavor of the cigar itself, but I definitely would say that for a full-bodied cigar, this is definitely a great compliment, if you ask me, this beer itself. Any of the stouts or heavier, you know, beers is definitely, you know, like a porter or something, is definitely going to be a nice, you know, compliment to the cigar. But, yeah, all in all, I mean, you know, just like any other tat, I've never had a tat I didn't like. I've never, ever had a tat I didn't like. I just think that, you know, Pete Johnson just has that knack for you know, figuring out what he really likes, and it just so happens it's kind of what I like. So
Well, the only tats I don't like are the ones I can't get anymore.
right,
That seems to be the consensus of everybody I talk to.
and I see my dog. He's playing with some stuff over here on the floor. Stay out of there. That was kind of embarrassing. We don't see that every day, but you know, yeah, I would definitely say that, you know, there are some tats that are definitely more peppery, but you know, with 4 years, you know, and who knows how long they fermented before they were actually released. Just the flavors in this is just spot on. I mean, what a great stick. You know, unfortunately, you can't get them anymore. We're kind of at you know, that crossroad that unless you know somebody that happens to have some laying around, it's what you're stuck with, is what you got. So, you know, we've got 6 left. I think we'll maybe wait another couple of years before I crack back into the rest of these and just see what the difference in the flavor profile is going to change, you know, as far as it goes. I can imagine it's only going to get smoother. It's only going to get, you know, you know, more flavorful. I mean, this thing is definitely smooth, smooth, smooth. I cannot stress enough. There's a lot of people that retrohale. I am definitely a retrohaler. You know, and a lot of those, like we were talking about earlier, you know, sometimes you retrohale and it's like a smack in the nose, you know, your eyes start to kind of water a little bit. And that is definitely something that I don't get from this, which is, I mean, not necessarily good or bad. I mean, I don't mind having my eyes water a little bit with those pepper bombs, but it's just not this cigar.
Well, and something else I like about Tatuaje in general is no matter what one I get, I'm pretty much guaranteed I'm going to like it. They're very consistent on their blends, and they don't really deviate all over the place. So I know I go to any B&M, if I'm missing a cigar, I could go get a tat, whether it's the brown label, the red label, or my favorite, the black label, and I'm going to be happy. Especially with these black Tubos.
Right.
They're just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like, you know, I would say my favorite, you know, is probably the red label, the pyramid and the red label. I also really like the SW. I think the SW, the Reserve SW, is just an incredibly good cigar. You know, and actually I do have some new tats. Well, not some new tats, but some old tats that I'm going to be doing some video reviews on coming up. I do have well, I do have a Boris that I've not yet done. I have the entire main Monster series that Roman and I are going to be doing a review on, which will be kind of nice. You know, I mean, I know there's lots of people out there that have done the entire Monster series. I did do the little Monster series, but I have yet to do the big Monsters. I've actually got a few other really hard to find Tatuajes that I'm really excited to review, and those will be coming up. Unfortunately, I only have a couple, so it'll probably just be me. But all in all, you know, I mean, I'm not going to cut the thing in half, but you know, we definitely have some more tats coming to Cigar Fellas. So keep us in mind. I would definitely say that this cigar is just an incredible stick. If you can get a hold of a Tat Black Tubo, definitely do it. They only released them once. I think it was like late 2009, early 2010. They still may have had a few boxes, but I believe that they all got released early or late 2009. Definitely check them out. It's definitely worth your time. I mean, this is definitely a cigar that I wish I had a lot more of. I'd still be smoking quite a few of them. And I may even look for some more, you know, along the way. You know, some of the online you know, forums where, you know, we can find that stuff. But, you know, you guys can always check us out at www.cigarfellas.com. Make sure that you check out our new forum at www.stogiefriends.com. We also are going to start supporting, actually, we've already kind of started supporting the Cigar for Warriors. You guys can check them out at www.cigarsforwarriors.net. That is a great cause. It's all about giving cigars back to our troops. I know Drew Estates, Jonathan Drew and Drew Estates are very active in it. They're probably one of the, actually they are the largest supporter of that site and what they stand for. Definitely check them out. There's some other people in there. Famous Smoke is in there. We're now going to be supporters. We're going to try to have a few events for Cigars for Warriors here in Michigan that hopefully we'll have an opportunity to take care of and run. And, you know, with that in mind, I'm Moose. This is Dan, Hard CZ. To all of our men and women overseas, we wish you all well. We hope you guys come home safe soon. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. And of course my cigar goes out. I'm not going to end this video without lighting my cigar. Till next time, we'll catch you later.